Welcome to Sweaty Impact Makers. My name is Luke, and through this series of powerful interviews, I want to inspire you to have more adventures on the bike and make you consider that maybe you too can have a positive impact on the world. Today, I'm riding in sunny San Diego, where one of the largest GIS conferences in the world takes place. For a full week of geospatial fun. And I'm thrilled to be riding along one of the global industry leaders. And I think he was happy as well, because riding has not been his day-to-day routine for the past week. May I introduce to you Mr. Randall Rene. Hi, Randall. How are you?
I'm well. This is a great day to be here. It's my first time riding down here in San Diego. Usually ride up there in the Redlands, California area, Palm Springs, sometimes down at the beaches outside of LA. Yeah, first time down here.
Randall, can you tell me a little bit more about one of your most memorable bike rides?
Yeah, it was a fundraising event. It's called Summit to Surf, and it started up at Mount Hood, Oregon at Timberline Lodge. Really nice lodge at about, I want to say about 8,000 feet. And then it ended in Hood River, Oregon, right at sea level on the Columbia River. A lot of downhill, it was about 60 miles. But there were 3 passes of some pretty good climbing. I was on my old hardtail mountain bike, and I did not train for hills because I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's all downhill, right? And then I'll never forget this little old lady, no kidding. She was awesome. She passed me, Luke, on one of those like beach cruiser 3 speeds. And as she goes by it, she has a bell and she goes, ding, ding, you're doing great, sweetheart. And she left me in the dust. But it was a beautiful ride. Hood River, Oregon is a really big fruit growing area. So pears and apples, big time out there. So as you're riding through there, just beautiful, breathtaking scenery, great weather, and then you end at the Columbia River Gorge there. So that was one of my most memorable. I'll never forget her though. Ding ding, keep up, sweetheart. Oh, okay.
So Randall, can you explain a little bit more how you ended up at this position at Esri? What did you study in high school, university? What did you do?
You know, the first real mapping I got into was as a kid doing Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went in the military and did a different kind of mapping there, land navigation. Started using, I didn't realize I was using geospatial tools at the time. Got out, the military, got into telecommunications. I spent a lot of my time though in inside plants, so central offices. But again, reading network maps was really important. About 2012, I ended up as a planning and design manager. So I spent a lot of time, building networks, and that's where I first discovered Esri's GIS. And one of the best people I ever met, really helped me a lot in my career, was my GIS analyst. Scott was an amazing asset and just such a great, help to me to teach me about GIS. Quickly fell in love with all things geospatial,
Mm-hmm.
Realized just how much, the GIS mapping and good network mapping tools could help a business. I didn't go back. I didn't have really any education college-wise until 2012. I did my bachelor's while working, and then ended up going after that, taking my master's, getting my MBA, focusing on organizational strategy and business development. And that really helped me with process design, helped me with, things like how to solve, what seemed like complex problems with some GIS tools, and and that really changed my way of thinking about telecommunications, was looking at business as a whole as opposed to just my business unit. So I got to know my account manager really well, Stacia, and over the years we talked a lot about what Esri did and positions here at Esri. where I could potentially step in and take some of this knowledge that I had gained over 20 years in the telecom industry and help other businesses, and most importantly, the people doing the work, have a better life and, work smarter, not harder.
What does cycling or being active mean for you? How do you use it?
You hear a lot of things about mindfulness these days. I think in our really busy lifestyles we have now, and over the past couple of years, disconnected from one another, the being able to get out and do something active brings great peace of mind and levity. I definitely know the times where, maybe I've gone a little too long without some sort of physical activity. It's almost like things maybe seem more difficult than they really are, or you find your stress level grows. But, there's no better stress relief, I think, than, getting out and doing something active.
Right. And do you do anything like mindfulness sessions or anything like that as well?
I do. After this accident I had, I wasn't allowed to really look at screens a whole lot, and so I was doing spending a lot of time listening to audiobooks, but I discovered more meditation, like transcendental meditation, really working to, calm the mind. And that's something, you don't realize how much you're thinking or how much your stress you have going on until you purposely try to just sit calm. It goes back to how busy we are. So that's something I do. Also, I do some journaling, I think about, what I did today, did I help anybody? How did I feel? And if I felt, maybe it was a rougher day, maybe there's more stress, trying to identify what those stressors were, and then let them go, because most of the time, I tell you, most of the time, at least in my experience, we make our own stress, and the problems that we create are typically ones we make normal situations into problems, by worrying about them or stressing about them. Well, one of my favorite apps that I use in the evening, especially when traveling, is I either use the app Calm, where you can listen to, natural settings, whether it's the forest or stream or rain, so that you have some natural sound, in a built environment, right?
Yeah.
YouTube, honestly, is a pretty good resource for videos associated with, meditation or that sort of thing. So another app I have, it focuses on gratitude, and it's a simple journal app. Write something down positive every morning, and then every evening write down something you were thankful for. Little things like that I think are important. They certainly add up, and they keep you from focusing on, the negative things, because I think we have a lot of negative influencers in our life, and it's too easy to forget about all the positives. So stuff like that really, I think, helps shine light on positive thinking.
Right. Now, of course, this interview series is called Sweaty Impact Makers, where we try to give examples how people have positive impact on the world. I heard some beautiful stories. I think one of them is about Henry. Can you tell us a little bit more about Henry?
Oh, yeah. Happy to. I met Henry through an organization called Big Brothers, Big Sisters. The program Big Brothers, Big Sisters is all about partnering youth with an adult coach or mentor, or simply somebody that can be a friend. Oftentimes, kids, in Big Brothers, Big Sisters come from families that are a single parent. For me, it was a great opportunity to sign up and give back, because as a youth, same age as Henry, I come from a single parent household. There was a period of time, actually, my two sisters and I actually lived in a car briefly with my mom. We got very poor at the time, and it was for the help of adults, whether it was teachers or people in through church or through other programs that showed me that the circumstances I was living through as a child was not going to be the sum of my life. and they helped me in so many ways that, I wanted to be there and do the same for Henry. So, geez, I've been going on quite a few years. We meet up, we talk about school. I'm going to school myself, working on my PhD, and so here he is as a sophomore in high school. I'm working on the PhD, and we can both complain how much school sucks. And then sometimes, it's really neat these days, and we talk about telecom, and we talk about bringing people together or connecting people to what's important in their lives. I was in Vienna, Austria, playing Fortnite with Henry, who's in, Portland, Oregon. We've done some fundraising, through Big Brothers Big Sisters. I signed up and rappelled down a building, Luke. I don't know what I was thinking, but it was 24 stories, scary. I dressed up as Batman and had a good time. I had to hide my fear behind a Batman costume, and it was great. I had a nephew who passed after 3 different bouts from leukemia. So raising awareness for cancers, as well as I've had some other families, members that have passed from it. I've done some running events. I climbed Mount Hood in Portland, Oregon as a fundraiser and raised $5,000 there.
The small things add up, and that's I think also the goal of this series as well, is to give examples on what you can do, on making you consider to have a small impact yourself as well.
Luke, I think that what you're doing is really special, because you're exactly right. A lot of people don't realize that a little contribution goes a long ways. And I think, the more that we support one another and inspire one another to just do one little thing, those little things, boy, they sure add up, right?
All right, so Randall,
yeah,
let's suppose we have the technology to zoom you back to the 18-year-old Randall. What advice would you give them?
Oh, wow. That's one of my favorite questions, and there's a lot of people that ask that because it's such a good one. I think the biggest thing I would tell myself back then is don't give up. Don't beat yourself up over things you can't, accomplish, or you can't do, or can't control, because you can't control everything. You can't know everything. You can't learn everything. So just relax and do your best each day. Be kind, and take care of people the best you can. But most importantly, just don't give up. I think that's something that we all tend to do from time to time, is just say, oh, forget it, or get frustrated. But yeah, say don't give up.
No, that's beautiful advice. I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah.
To bring your bike, to help me as well.
Thank you.
And I hope to catch you in the next one.
Yeah. See you again.
See ya.